And welcome everybody, it's John the Net Guy. I am super excited to be here today. It's a Wyze product showcase day. Now, interestingly enough, this is a pre-show right now. You guys are seeing something on YouTube and Facebook that nobody else is seeing because you're connected to those platforms. Now, I've got the Amazon people waiting. We're going to let them in here in just a second, but there's a few rules with Amazon and things that I just wanted to tell you about. I can't direct away from Amazon to any other websites, and so I'm going to be referring you guys to Amazon. I'm also going to be recommending that we use the Amazon chat. Now, some of you I can already see are in the YouTube chat. If you want to, there's a link in the video description for YouTube and for Facebook that will take you to the Amazon. You're going to be right in your Amazon app. I've got some cool features I can do with that. I've got a little carousel at the bottom. I can point out these products. And if you do purchase the products, especially during the live show, it helps me out. I'm on the second tier right now. I'm an Amazon insider. And if you do purchase something during the show, I get a very tiny commission in full disclosure. So I'll let you know all about that and where I got these products. So just wanted to tell you about that before we jump into the Amazon, let the Amazon folks in. And you guys get the little pre-show here. So you're going to see me pull stuff up like this. And it's going to get annoying. And I'm going to be directing people to the Amazon shop. And that's really because it's the best shopping experience. Instead of posting something to YouTube and waiting for you to click a link and then you find it and you have a question, we can just shop together. We can do this on Amazon Live together, but I need your help. So, see, a few of you are sitting there in the YouTube. If you don't mind and if you have time to jump over to the Amazon, that would be really awesome. Hey, The Complex, thank you for jumping over there. And in just a couple minutes here, checking my Wyze watch, we're ready to go. I'm going to be silent for just a second, let the buffers clear out, and then we're going to let the Amazon folks in, and you guys got the little pre-show there so you know what's happening, and I'll give the full intro. Awesome, here we go. Hey, welcome everyone. Gotta spell everyone right. Make sure to chat and follow. I cannot type on air. I just learned this. Send. There you go. Hey, welcome everyone. It's John the Net Guy, and on today's show, we're doing a Wyze Home and Security Products showcase. So I wanted to show you a lot of the cool Wyze products that I've done. About 2 weeks ago, I did a Wyze showcase. I don't know if you guys remember this one. I'll pull it up real quick so you can see it. But I did this showcase for all of the tech products. The cool watch I'm wearing, all of the Wyze cams, and that's kind of the product that Wyze was really known for. This week, we're going to go into some new areas. This is some of the areas that Wyze has branched off to recently, and they're just as cool. Very, very cool products. It's going to be a full showcase. Now, I've got a lot of products to show. This is like maybe a quarter of the Wyze ecosystem, and that's something that's really important to me. Somebody asked me the other day, they go, do you get nervous before you go up and talk, John? I said, I'm talking to a bunch of my friends about tech, and, you know, I get to play with all this fun stuff. This is like a nerd's dream. There's nothing nervous about it, so I appreciate that. It is interactive. There's only just a couple rules here. One, let's make it fun. Ask me your questions. Tell me if you've got one of these things. Use the Amazon chat, and if you guys do follow me on Amazon here, I'm going to call you out. I'm going to thank you very much on air for that. John Ling, you started it out today with a follow. That's awesome. The other cool thing, when I was talking to Wyze about doing this showcase, we talked about some ideas to make it fun. I'm going to talk about it here later, some cool things that I can show you now. I don't know if you guys saw that floodlight announcement. I did a video yesterday that just went out about that Wyze floodlight. I've been waiting on that thing forever, so that's really, really cool. But definitely follow me in the chat and chat your questions to me. If you're wondering how something hooks up, if you wonder if it has a feature, that's an opportunity you have to do that live now, and I'll try to answer those. And for the people watching later, they're going to get the benefit of those questions being answered. So if you can, that would be great. See plenty of you guys showing up on Amazon. Thank you so much. Second rule. Follow the Net Guy if you can. It's up here in the corner here, hopefully. There's a little follow on mobile. There's another follow down on desktop down there. It's by the carousel, I think. if you can follow me, that would be awesome. I am on the tier 2 of Amazon. I'm on Amazon Insider. So I can be on the product page. You get to see me while I'm live. You can see these products and the videos that I make. I'd love to get to their A-list level. That's the next level. That's going to let me be on the Saturday shows. That's going to have them push this show to others, and I get a wider reach. But it's going to take a while. It's going to take a lot of you guys following. Mike, thank you so much for the follow. That is awesome. You got it right. And if you're on one of the other platforms that we're multi-streaming to, if you look in the description, there's a link to get over to Amazon, and you can watch me there. So I really do appreciate it. And in all seriousness, my wife really wants to go on a cruise. I do make a small commission on all of these sales that happen before and after during the show if you click on the links in the carousel. So thank you so much for that. It is a very minuscule amount. It's way less than I spend on a lot of the lights and photo equipment that you see. I am a one-man show. I am the net guy. So I want to take the wife on a cruise someday. This will definitely help make that happen. Now, Dave Frank, thanks for the follow too, man. Awesome. One of the things that's going to make this really fun is I've got a giveaway. Now, I'm going to give you the details on how to join that giveaway, how to enter for it. But what it's for, when I talked to Wyze about this, I said I really, really want to give away one of your brand new home monitoring bundles. I said I really want to give one of these away so people get to see these really cool products that I just demoed. And I don't want it to just be the home monitoring. I need to send it out with the professional monitoring service. So when I talk about this, right at the end of that segment, I want you to know what you're winning. I'm going to give you details on how you can win one of these. I've only got one to give away. Sorry. If you do purchase one of these today and you do win the giveaway, we'll work that out. Maybe you give it to a gift or we come up with some solution there. But don't not buy one of these because you think you might be winning. And I just want to tell you that. There's going to be a lot of entries, I have a feeling, for on that. Again, I'm just checking for chats. Vanessa, thanks for the follow. Zachary, hey, we've been chatting online, I think. That's nice to see you. There's a lot of you guys from the Facebook group. You might see that in some of the videos. I'm a very active participant. I try to help people out on the Facebook group, and so you'll see me over there. One quick housekeeping element. Can you guys let me know how my audio sounds? I'm trying a new mic today, and I don't want to go like halfway through this and find out I'm muffled. I've got some other options I can jump over to, so that would be great. Hey, Brandon. He's over on the YouTube chatting. He says, hey, you bought the Video Doorbell Pro. Man, I got one that's almost here. I'm super excited to see that as soon as it gets here and get to play with it hands-on. I did a video on that one too. I'm going to show you the Wyze Video Doorbell today, and I think you're going to really like that product, so that would be great. And thank you for the sound check everywhere. Mike N is rocking the buds. You mean like these? It's totally true. This is my Wyze watch. I've got an Apple Watch. I don't even wear it. I just charged this thing up again after like a week and a half. And the buds. I have the Pro buds. I have a box of buds. I love the Wyze buds. I did that in the show last week. So if you do check at my previous lives, you can go on there and see the earbuds, the watch, the Wyze cams, this dynamite starlight sensor demo I did. It's really, really cool. You don't want to miss that. So you can check those things out, but absolutely good to know that I sound good on the Wyze earbuds. That's awesome. So let's go over here, and I'm going to show you real quick what we got coming up today. I want to give you just kind of a view here of the showcase products. We're going to do the indoor and outdoor plug. These things are awesome, especially this holiday time. I'm going to tell you why. They're also a great gift. From a price perspective, they're one of the easiest items to give and to get somebody in that smart home technology space. We're going to talk about the door lock and the keypad. Now, those are two separate products. Oh, man, Zach, the super chat. Oh, I got to call out the super chat there. Zachary Solis gave me a super chat of 50 US bucks towards the Take the Wife for a Cruise Fund. Thank you so much, buddy. That helps a lot. That is awesome. That's the biggest super chat I've gotten to date. But we're going to talk about the keypad, especially if you got kids. I'm a dad of 5. So this house is a disaster all the time. I need all the help I can get. The keypad makes it super easy to work with the lock, and I'll tell you about that. We are going to talk about the regular Wyze Video Doorbell. This is not the Pro Doorbell. That's not yet available on Amazon. But we're going to show you the Wyze Video Doorbell. had a big change of heart on this thing. I put out a video that I was kind of questioning it, and I didn't quite understand how all the features work together. Mind blown. I'm a big fan of this now. We're going to get into the home monitoring system, including the giveaway. And then I'm going to finish it up. I don't know if you noticed up here, Vacuum McVacuum has been watching us. I hope it doesn't get sentient and drive off. That could be bad. It does have some sensors and protections. And then I have the handheld vac too. I'm going to show you a couple of those products to clean it all up. Did you get it? So that's where we're headed. If you do have questions, I'm just checking the Amazon chat. If you got questions about any of these products, stop me and I will stop and answer your questions to make sure that you know everything about it that you want. First product up though is the Wyze indoor plug. Now I say indoor plug, you're going to see this called the Wyze Smart Plug. This plug is the gateway drug to the Wyze ecosystem. I get a laugh when I say that because I gave one to my dad, and my dad was in law enforcement, no drugs at all. So yeah, this is the gateway drug. This is the thing that if you're not comfortable yet buying a Wyze cam, you don't know where you'd use a camera in the whole system, this is a great little product, especially for the holidays. You can use it to control your Christmas tree. It's available in the app, and it could not be any easier to use. I'm going to pull up the app. That's another cool thing I've got going on today. I'm just going to show you guys this. This is the app view. Now, I can actually control devices and show you how all the stuff works right here from the app live. So I don't know how many other people are doing that, but we can go into this plug, and I actually have this plug plugged into the wall over here, and I can turn it on and off. You talk about how easy this thing is to add. If you hit plus, you want to add a device, right? So we got power and lighting. Those are the different devices that are available. Wyze plug. There you go. There's two different kinds of plugs. Depending on which one you pick, it's an instant add, or there's one extra step that you can do. But again, super, super duper easy product to use. That is the Wyze plug. Now, current ratings. Let's talk about that and safety when it comes to plugs. This thing is rated for a full 15 amps. So it's rated to the same level that your outlet is here. So on the back side here, and I'm going to show you that. Always check these. Not all smart plugs are made the same. So input is 120 volts, output 120, 15 amp max. Now, I don't necessarily recommend these for, resistive loads. That would be your heaters or things like that. I can tell you I have used them in a lot of places. I used them in my shop lights. So I would walk into the house, and every time I'd get all the way in, I'd look out and I'd left my woodworking shop lights on. And I got to trudge back out in the Seattle rain and go turn them off. And so now that home automation system I can't name, I just tell her to turn off the workshop lights, and she can do that. So that's a really, really cool thing. Super duper easy to set up. The other thing you can do is you can use this inside of your entire Wyze ecosystem. You can use this inside your rule chain. So if you have a lamp in your living room and somebody's walking up to your door, presses your doorbell, or there's motion on your doorbell camera, you can have it turn the light on. If you've got some Wyze bulbs, different color bulbs, you can have it change the bulb color. So we're talking, again, ecosystem product. This is just simple on and off, but it works with everything else in the system. So super cool product right there. It works with all of the different ecosystem products there. So you're going to be able to do your smart devices from her, Wyze, and Google as well. It does enable dumb devices. If you've ever been one of those people that forgets about the coffee maker, I know you probably don't have an analog coffee maker, but if you forget and say, hey, did I leave that thing on? You can turn it off. If you've got kids like me that like to go play with the light switches, I've got some lamps in the kids' room and they like to go turn them on and off. You can put one of these at the base and turn it on and off completely. So at night, they can't go in and play with the lights. That's kind of a cool feature as well. Another interesting thing about this that I have to point out, which was kind of neat, you can use this as a TV measurement and monitoring device. So you can count the time that somebody spends on a TV with this. Now, it's not going to do the energy monitoring, but it'll tell you the hours that it's been on. So if you've got a rule that says no TV after 10 o'clock, maybe till 7, 8 a.m., you can put that in the Wyze schedule that this thing turns off at 10 and doesn't come on until 7. So I've used that in the past now. Somebody's probably going to write there, my kids weren't that bad, but somebody's going to write in there, well, they'll just go around the plug. Yes, they will. But we're talking about fairly honest kids here. And if you're a parent and you want to be able to trust them, and you want to be able to use this as kind of a reinforcement tool in the beginning, this could be a really cool way to do that. So this is the entry drug to the Wyze ecosystem. This is the Wyze Smart Plug. Now it comes in a 2-pack. We should talk about how you can find all of these products. I'm going to go down there and highlight it right now on the carousel, so everybody should have seen that down there. It is the first product, so it was already highlighted. Can you see if there's just a draw on the plug? On this one, no. But the very next product we'll talk about, yes. That's an absolutely great question there. That was from Dave Frank on the Amazon. Thank you so much for that question. So we'll talk about that. So this one just has on-off measurement, which is kind of cool if you know what the draw of your item is and you want to kind of double check the power. You know, you can calculate it that way. The next product's going to do a little bit more than that. So that is the Wyze plug there. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to go back, and then I'm going to show you the runtime calculation. So right there, you can see this thing's been on 3 hours and 48 minutes. I just set it up, actually, so I just reset this one so you guys could see it. So that's the Wyze test plug as well. The very next product is going to be related to this, but I did want to show you something funny here. I don't know if you guys are big movie buffs, but I am. Let's see. Can you guys remember this scene? Clark Griswold there. This can be used for your Christmas lights. So this is a really, really cool item. Like I said, I gave one of these to my dad. He's not super technical, and this was his lead-in item. Now he's got the Echo Show, and he's got the next product as well. But definitely don't do this with your Wyze plug. But this is definitely something that can control those Christmas lights if you want it to do it that way. And you know, great for just automating any sort of lights. It does have, if we go back into that app, it does have this idea of a vacation mode. So you see that if I tap vacation mode, what it's going to do is it's going to automatically switch between on and off on its own schedule. And it's going to look like somebody's home. So if you're going away, it'll do that. You'll see this in a few of the Wyze products in the ecosystem. So that's great. I will go to the next product real quick here. We'll reset back up. The next product, and Dave Frank, this one's for you, is going to be the Wyze Outdoor Smart Plug. So if you are hooking up the Christmas lights and there's a possibility of water nearby, this is the Wyze Outdoor Plug. I just pulled it up on the carousel for you guys watching. Hey, John Hardwick, thank you so much. Thanks for the chat there. And so this is pretty cool. This product is right here. I'm going to switch it out here so you guys can see it on the full. I have not unboxed this one, but I'm thinking we might do a little live unboxing of this today. It is a really slick little product. This came out after the regular indoor plug. It's water resistant. I wouldn't be dunking this thing underwater, but you see how it has rubber gasketed plugs there? That's really designed so that the water's going to shed off of it. The other thing about it, I'm going to zoom you guys in here so you can see this a little bit better. Again, this thing is brand spanking new. Wanted to show you these plugs here on the end. So again, gasketed plugs with numbers on them. So there's the different ports that they have. Also has backup buttons. So you can press these buttons and it will turn on and off the device. Now, I've gotten a ton of usage out of these. These are really cool. They're very, very heavy duty. So when we talk about resistive loads, again, this one has also got the same rating. This has a motor rating on it, so 0.5 horsepower motor max. So that tells me that it's not only just a 15 amp max. This has got a motor rating on it. I'm not saying you run your wash machine off of it, but this is definitely something that you could run small motors off of. In my workshop, I do have a remote control smart plug that's actually running my dust collector and my air compressor. Now, my air compressor may not be a half, so I got to double check that. I'm not using this specific brand, but that might be something interesting to look at. So can I use the outdoor plug with a Christmas blow up? Yes. 0.5 horsepower max motor rating, and almost 99% of those Christmas blow up things. Brandon, that was a great question. We'll work with this. So this is the Wyze Outdoor Plug. Let's put that down here, and we're going to talk a little bit about the feature set that it has. You get 2 plugs in one, basically. So you're buying one plug unit here, but it's going to have 2 ports already. So you're getting that on here. It's only one connection, though. So you only have to connect one connection and you get the two plugs. Now the plugs are individually controllable, so I can turn them on and off. And you asked about energy usage, Dave. That's absolutely true. I'm going to pull it up in my app here. So we're going to pull up the Wyze app ecosystem. And you see I have outdoor 1 and 2. That's not this guy because he's unplugged. He wouldn't be online. But this was actually for my boat. We just brought our boat back for the winter here in Washington. And so I can turn on and off my plug by simply just tapping this on and off. I don't want to do that. But I did want to tell you about the usage monitoring. So this is the biggest difference between these two, other than being water resistant, is the energy usage draw. Now, I usually use this with my RV when it's here. My boat just got back, and so I can go by day, week, and month. And you see there's that big spike. Well, when I brought my boat back, it'd been unplugged for a few days. I plugged it in, and there's the draw of the battery charger charging my boat up right there. So it's got that monitoring. Now, the monitoring is combined. You're not going to get individual usage data. I haven't seen products out there that will do that, especially not in this price range, which is what we'll talk about next. So fantastic product here from Wyze. Again, they've done a lot of smart thinking in the design here. I just want to show you something. When you plug it in, especially to an outlet that's to code on a house that's above ground, it does hang down. And this has been a frustration of mine, but I actually realized why. Do you notice the edges on these plugs here? Some products don't have that. And when it's pointed downward like it's designed to, water's going to come down. We're like Seattle here, so we get a lot of water. It's going to come down, and it's going to hit that edge, and then it's going to be a drip edge, and it's going to go off and not into your plug housings. And to, even if it's water resistant, you don't want water around those electrodes. We don't want to corrode them out. So that'll be really cool. George, block heater question on the Amazon chat. That's a great one. If it's under 15 amps and it's a resistive load, which I think block heaters are like 1500 watts or crazy at the start, or can be, and I think they come way, way down. If you're in a cold area, this is a great question. I'll follow up on that. If somebody from Wyze is in the chat and knows on that one, we could talk about that too. That's another thing. We got a few people here from Wyze watching. We can talk about that. It is ETL listed. That's another cool feature on this one. I'm going to bring up Amazon just because I want to show you where you can see these products. So if we look here, this is my Amazon shop page. So you can see it's going to be kind of weird, picture in a picture. You can see me right here and watch me. If you go to the website URL is just amazon.com/shop/the-net-guy. You can see the current live that I'm on. You can see other videos I've done, and you can see my past live streams here as well. Since I'm live now, it's not showing the past. You'd have to go back over here to see that. But what's kind of cool about it is I have these also in a Wyze Home Security shopping list here. So you can see these different products. Now, if I click on this one, the price on this one, I have to be real careful, is $17.98 right now, and that includes free Prime shipping. So there has been an issue in the past with Wyze and shipping. If you guys go take a look at the Wyze, the Future of Wyze Part 2, and you don't shed a tear, you're not human. These guys are a make or break for this company, was the Cam Plus and that cool offering they come out with. I just subscribed to the year-long Ultimate Cam Plus, and I'm super happy to support this company because they come up with really cool products like this. But they're working on their shipping. This ships from Amazon. I saw it earlier. This one's shipping at Saturday, November 13th. I actually saw it earlier. It was like 5 to 10 p.m. like same day on Amazon, which is really awesome. So if you're one of those people that doesn't like to wait too long, again, by the end of the show, you can kind of be building up your cart here. This is one of the products that I would highly, highly, highly recommend. It's a great gift, too. So my dad, we were talking about him, started him out on the Wyze plug. Immediately, he took it outside. He wanted to control the deck LED lights that they have. Now, it was a covered porch that they have down there. And, it's a fairly temperate area, near Arizona, I'll say. But, I didn't want him to use that outdoors. So I got him one of these and sent it down to him. You can do that through Amazon. You can do this gift wrapped. You can do all that cool stuff. So this makes a really cool product for under $20. Between this and the one that we just talked about previously, the smaller cousin, the indoor only, this is a single. That's going to be a double, obviously. Great products to start your Wyze experience. Does anybody have one of these on the chat? Let me know. That'll be pretty cool. I would love to hear about that. If you've got one of these plugs and you've been using it, tell me your experience has been. I've really enjoyed mine. I think it's one of the best built products. Let me see if I can put this down without knocking everything over. I think it's one of the best built Wyze products out there, and super excited to show it to you today. Now we're going to get into the interesting stuff, and this is the stuff that has a special place in my heart. This is where we get into the security and the home security aspect. And I asked Wyze, and we talked about this, and I said, is Wyze, a security products company? And the answer is no. They're much more than that. And I'm going to show you some comparisons here in a little bit about why that's important and why the home monitoring system really unlocks a lot of really interesting ideas with this. But one of the very first products that does that is going to be the Wyze door lock. So this one is a really, really cool product. I'm going to pull that up on the carousel for you now. Take one quick look here. 5 by 15, less than 15. Yeah, so that's a good answer. If you can find out what the wattage is, I don't know if I have mine here. Another trick is you can use a kilowatt. If you've ever heard one of those, that's a wattage meter that would tell you about that. Ooh, yeah, George, 400 watts. So you're going to be great there. Awesome. Thanks for asking the question, and thanks for helping each other out. That's awesome in the chat, guys. That's really what I want to see. I want to help you guys with your shopping here. Next thing I want to tell you about here is this lock. This is the one I use on my home, and it was an expensive purchase. I think it's around $100. Let's go take a look at that. Again, the way you find this, just come to my page. It's $108 for the lock right now. And this one I can get by 4 to 8 a.m. So I'm going to pull that up for you on there. So this is the product page for it. So it's $108.00, and I can get it here between 4 and 8 a.m. for myself. I use this on the front of my house. If you come up to my house, the lock that you see is actually being controlled on the inside by this. It took me a while to figure this out. I didn't understand specifically the whole ecosystem yet. And I'll pull the picture of the lock. Sorry, it's at the end, of course. That's how I did it. This is a picture of my lock installed on the inside. Now you see the handle that you see down there is a baby-proof handle. So that's one we use for my kid. My 2-year-old likes to explore and go everywhere, and he would open that door if he could. It's also really good if you've got visitors or guests over, and it's awesome. Bode, he's on YouTube telling me that he has, or Bodie I think would be, that he has the Wyze lock for over a year now. Highly recommends that. Awesome. Thank you so much for that recommend. This lock is really interesting. I've done a lot of lock replacements. Not a locksmith, but you don't need one to do this. It supports so many different locks and door styles. But in most cases, you're going to need a deadbolt for this. That's how you start this whole thing. You take the inside of your deadbolt off. So that's your upper lock set. They go through this painstakingly easy in the app. You just click next, click next. It's telling you what to look for. It shows you pictograms of what things are. The neat thing about this, and what made this different than almost any other ones, this is the outside of my smart lock. Now, it doesn't show up as great here as it could, but that's a paddle handle. My wife really wanted that style. And that's a smart lock, even though it has a backup key. So the neat thing about this one specifically is it doesn't change your normal entry mode at the top. You don't have to match it to the bronze. You don't have to match it to the silver, the brushed black, whatever. This one has the interior control that actuates your lock is changed out, but the outside stays exactly the same. So if you've invested $300-400 in a really nice lock set, you don't have to worry about that. If you've got keys that are out there for relatives, you can put this on and the existing key still works, and you won't ever lock yourself out due to batteries or anything else. So that is one of the cool things. If my internet goes down, what happens if I have no Wi-Fi to access the control the lock? Now, that's a really great question. I'm going to talk about that product next, so you're foreshadowing the Amazon customer, but there are some ways around this. One, you can use your traditional key that continues to work with this. You do have both app and keypad control, which I'll talk about here shortly. It does have some really cool features in the app. Now, I'm going to pull mine up specifically. So this is the one that I have in my house right now. And I'm going to tell you a little story about it. after I put it on. So I put this lock in, and the first thing that we did is we went on a trip. We went on a road trip down to Utah, and I think it was a couple days afterward that I did this. We got 2 miles down the road, and I said, did we lock the front door? This thing will both tell you if it's locked or open. I don't think I've recalibrated mine recently, but it'll actually detect if the door wasn't just shut all the way. So it gives you open detection, close detection, lock and unlock. It has a trash mode, so if you're saying, oh yeah, I gotta run out real quick and dump the trash, I don't want my auto lock on right now, you flick it a couple times and it's gonna set that trash mode. So there's some really cool thinking that went into this. I think the most genius thing about this product was the fact that it retains your existing hardware, the stuff that you spent money on. A lot of locks, you have to replace all the mechanisms, and then things don't line up right, and they don't close, and they don't open right. Now, I'm gonna see if I can scare somebody upstairs, and I can just tap this, and now it's in the process of locking the front door. So when we went on that road trip, I was going, hey, did we lock the front door? I opened the app, and sure enough, we were able to close it just like that. So that's pretty cool. It can tell you the status of your front door, and it can close, lock, and unlock it. So very cool. Fake rock for a spare key. I love it. Need a Wyze fake rock. Hey, you know, some Wyze people, there might be a good product idea for you. You know, that is one thing we'll talk about here coming up when it comes to the Wyze lock. You need one of these. That's gonna drive away burglars. I tell you what, that's one of the best things you can do. But no, I like the fake rock idea. That's really cool. So the Wyze lock, like I said, you know, a great product. Let me pull that one out here and just put it up here so you guys can see the box as I talk here. So this is the Wyze lock. It's a really ingenious idea because it comes with that very small lock interface. And the lock interface is really neat. It's called a lock gateway. And what it does is it keeps the battery power of the lock up, because what's happening is if you have a smart lock, and I've had many, and you put all the batteries in it, and it doesn't have a gateway like this, you're programming your Wi-Fi into your smart lock. Your Wi-Fi is connected to your lock all the time, and it's burning the battery. So this little lock gateway does all that communication with the Wyze app, and it just communicates over low energy with the lock itself. So that gateway gives you that control. The lock is shareable. So if you've got some friends that are coming over and they're going to watch your house, you can share the lock out and these items out individually to people and take it away. The next product's also really good for that. So I think this thing is an awesome tool for vacation rentals. If you've ever had a vacation rental, you know how hard having keys is, the keys under the fake rock. This is one of those things that I could see almost any house. If you've got a deadbolt on your door, this is one of those ones that you want to see. Let me look here. Tyler, he loves the lock for 6 months and loves the auto unlock feature. Yeah, I didn't talk about that. I don't have that enabled on mine. I'm still kind of working that out, whether I want to have that or not. Let's go back and talk about that. So he's talking about a feature in here. If I go into my front door lock and I go into the settings, we have the auto lock off, the auto unlock here. If I turn that on, this is where I live, by the way. It's geolocating and it's saying, hey, when I come into this location, to the studio, do I unlock or lock? And so that's what the proximity lock is for. I don't use that necessarily, but if you're in an area where that makes sense for you, absolutely it's a feature. It does have the auto lock feature, of course. If you're leaving and you forget to lock your door, it's going to do that. So awesome to hear about that. And thank you, Tyler. And just a quick reminder, since you guys are on here on the Amazon blowing it up, just wanted to remind you, if you don't mind, hit that follow button. I don't want to miss you guys next time when I'm doing another cool show. It's either up there or down there, and there's a carousel along the bottom here with the different products in them. So just wanted to remind you, give me a follow if you can. It's going to help me work my way up in the Amazon live streaming list, and we can continue to do this. So next product that I want to talk about is absolutely related to this. Let me get back over to it here. It's also close to the front of the other product. So the question came up, and you asked in the chat, you said, hey, what about if the power goes out? So let me go over to the right screen here. This is the Wyze Keypad. Now I'm going to pull up the Wyze Keypad so you can see it. This goes along with the lock. So there's my Wyze doorbell, which also is coming up, but I wanted to tell you about the Wyze Keypad because if you've got kids and you're using this Wyze door lock, this is a must. A lot of times I see them bundled. You definitely want to consider investing in that. And the reason for it is and I don't know about the whole power going out thing because the keypad and that might have to use the gateway to communicate. I'm not sure. We'll find out. But if you don't have your smartphone on you, you don't have your keys on you, and you want to get in your house, if you're a kid, type in that code, and you can use that keypad to get in. So I'm going to go here to the next product. So that's the Wyze Keypad. It is an add-on to the smart lock. Now, apologize, my box kind of got beat up. I think one of my kids was excited and helping me open it. That's what the box comes in here for the keypad, but it's really, really small. That's the one thing you'll notice about it. It's not a very big keypad. It can fit, actually I'll show you here real quick. I saw a picture of this installed right above somebody's door lock. So this is a community member on the Facebook group that pointed their Wyze doorbell and put this, it's so thin, it fits above or below. I put mine nearby. But this is an absolute perfect use case of this, and this thing's super skinny. It can lock and unlock the door with any codes that you want, and so far I think it's got unlimited codes. You can continue to do that. Hey, Tyler, thank you so much for the follow. That is awesome, man. I really do appreciate that. And Edward Cooper, who just started following as well, I will see you on the next show, by the way. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. You're going to get notifications now, so if you haven't, might be a good time to stop and hit that follow button. I'm going to hop into some cool stuff about this. As far as theft, if you have one of those older keypads that I've seen like on the front of the door and there's wires that come through, somebody can pull your keypad off of your front door and start to do stuff with it. This thing's completely wireless, so super duper simple, stick on or screw on attachment. And, it's battery powered. Batteries, I've had that one for like a year and I've never had to replace them, so I couldn't tell you about that. Super duper simple. If you do have a vacation rental, this is the one I think that you could totally pull off. And the reason I say that is you can give out unique codes when the people start, and you can immediately shut those codes off as soon as they check out, and they will never be able to come back in using this device. So that's a really cool safety feature. No more worried about keys and key impressions or whatever. So this is awesome. Hey, PC Tech Hustle, you're joining just in time. You're about to get to the cool stuff here. Thank you so much. RJ, instead of a smart home, do you have a Wyze Home? I love it. You guys rock in there. I'm getting some great questions in here. Just a reminder, if you want to ask questions about any of these products, shout them out in there. If you have these products, like Tyler just mentioned, let us know about it. And if you got some experts in the chat, we can answer some of these questions really easily. So the digits do light up. That's one thing I wanted to answer real quick. Somebody asked that earlier. If these digits light up when you press it. Give me 1 second here. I'll see if I have a better shot of that for you. I do not, unfortunately, right now. But I do want to talk real quick again about the whole Wyze ecosystem, right? If you use this or use the door lock to unlock your door, you can start to do other things. And this is where the Wyze products and the Wyze company starts to make a lot of sense. I took these pictures the other day just to show you the trouble that I'm in personally. I have my Nest app. I have my smart stove. RJ, sorry, you started me on a rant here, man. I've got my Fiat Electric for one light switch. I've got my VE Sync for one light switch. Wyze Home, they made a one-time great outdoor camera. I've got UCam in there for a secure camera. I got stuff to control my TVs. I got stuff to control my Wi-Fi. I got about 25 different apps in here. I got this Smart Light app that does one little switch. The Magic Home to do one of the strips, some LED light strips that I bought. So when I talk about the Wyze ecosystem, and that this keypad and this lock and those switches and the lights and the floodlights and the security system and all this stuff working together, it's because I'm trying to avoid this. I'm trying to avoid where I've got one app for this, one app for that. Monster Smart is their version of strips, by the way. Wyze, every time I think about a product I want, there's the Wyze strips, by the way. You got the Pro and the regulars. Still got to do a video on those, but just wanted to point out, when I talk about the Wyze ecosystem, that's what I mean. I mean, you've got one app that you open up. And the next product that we're going to talk about really exemplifies that, and that's going to be the Wyze Video Doorbell. So we're going to hop over to that. So this is the Wyze Video Doorbell. Now I actually have a couple of these. I purchased this one. I purchased the second one. I want you to be able to see this. So this is the Wyze Video Doorbell. It's a very, very cool product. I'm going to pull that up on the carousel as well. Current price in my Amazon app says $56.98. Now, this thing works with the video doorbell, works with the lock. So that's why I'm bringing these up together. If you're watching on the video doorbell, and it would be kind of a cool app feature to have a button directly. Right now, you can go back to the lock and just unlock the door. So again, first-time vacation rental people, maybe you just want to confirm that that's them when they show up. You could do this to unlock that door as well. So Wyze Video Doorbell, awesome, awesome product. It is diminutively small. It is barely bigger than a large push-button doorbell. Now, it does require wiring, so you are going to have to do a little tiny bit of work on here with the hard wiring there. The wiring is super simple. If you can undo a screw and put a screw back in, you're pretty close to halfway done there. It's a simple 2-wire hookup on the outside. It does have a little plate. It's got some wedges depending on how you want to install it and the field of view that you want. Do want to tell you about that. This one has probably the most interesting field of view I've seen in a long time on a doorbell. And I'll show you here in a second because it's kind of embarrassing how many doorbells I've had. I think my guy shows up, my mailman or package person, he shows up and he's like, "What? Did you get another doorbell, John?" So here's the view of it. And this is outside of my front porch here right now. Now I've got a little bit of a light reflection because I've got a CFL bulb right above it. But this is the field of view. Now, they came up with a new idea on this. When they built this, they said instead of having a lot of width, let's go floor to ceiling on this. Let's have a lot of height. So it's like if you took a camera and turned it on its side like portrait mode, it's a portrait field of view. So really cool that they can do this. Now, when I had my old porch, we just got this new porch built here. When I had my old porch, it didn't work out. The field of view, I didn't like it. But if you've got one of those alcove entries, this is a great doorbell for that. Now, even if you have an angle where your doorbell button is on the side, you can use the wedges to turn the camera so that it sees. And you can see now, this thing's seeing almost the corner of my floor mat out there. So definitely a cool product. I'm going to show you a couple other things about my installation, just so you can see what I went through. And then we'll talk about it real quick. Now, I've got a full YouTube video on this. So this is how I installed it. It's so much smaller than the other doorbells on the market that when my painting guys painted, they painted around my other doorbell, and it's that much smaller. You can still see the original color of my house. It does have a button. The button sometimes, I'll be completely honest, some people miss it. It's hard to see. I've seen some people put a push here on it. It is lighted at night, though. You can definitely see the button at night. Let's take a look at that. That's another picture. Now, when I showed you the live picture from it, or if I do show you here, let me go switch out to some of these pictures. I'll show you what it looks like both day and night. So here we go. So this is night. This is its night mode without any spotlight or additional illumination. So this is what it's seeing. Now, I've got some infrared from some other cameras. That's my boat in the driveway there. And this is the quality that you're seeing at night. You can see the trees. You can see people way out there. This is if I use the regular color vision, not any of the night vision that has it. It does not have the night sensor on it, but it does have Cam Plus. That's one thing we're going to talk about. It doesn't have the Starlight night vision sensor on it, but this one, doesn't necessarily need that because usually at your front porch you have good illumination, or you should have good illumination, and it works really well in tandem with the V3 camera. So if you have a V3 camera somewhere, they just released the Wyze socket. So I could put a socket adapter on my porch light and put a Wyze cam there to get myself a wider field of view or a different view of that area. But this is the view at night. Again, I just want to show you. And then this is the view at night with just my porch light on. I turned my porch light off for the last one. I don't know if I can zoom in. I can't zoom in, sadly. Sorry on this one. So I just wanted to show you a couple of those things and what they look like here. And I can show you, again, the different views that we have here and some of the controls. I mentioned Cam Plus. Now, Cam Plus is in the carousel. And it's important to me. You know, like I said about the future of Wyze video, Cam Plus is one of those products that, uh, let's just pull it out here. If you don't have a doorbell that has AI, you're missing out. These are all of the doorbells that I've tested. Most of them are still in here. We got the Ring doorbell with the Ring chime. We've got Amcrest doorbell. Blink doorbell that just showed up. I'm going to be doing a doorbell review video coming up soon. This is the J6 doorbell. Actually, this one worked really well. I'll just point that out. We've got the Anchor doorbell, the Eufy doorbell that everybody wants. There's a lot of doorbells here. A lot of them use passive infrared sensors and whatnot. The Wyze doorbell beats them all. And there's a specific reason for that. The Wyze doorbell with Cam Plus has package and person detection. It's been really, really windy here in the winter, and so we're getting leaves constantly blowing. With all of the other ones, we're seeing emotion alerts constantly. With the Wyze doorbell and the Cam Plus enabled, I'm going to go show you here. You can do motion if you want that. It's got a really unique timeline feature down below. So I'm going to show you that here. So this is, again, my live view. This is my motion view here. There was an error on that one. Let's go this morning. So this is my wife coming on in. So she's opening the door, you know, doing all that stuff. You can actually see persons in there. So if you go to events, this is really interesting. So these are my Cam Plus events from today. This is me doing the show here. I've got a camera in the corner. This is our backyard, so you can see all of those. If I want to say just show me persons, I don't get any of the other stuff. Now, this one is a person detection. It's got my daughter out there playing. I can turn it sideways, and you can see this is, I showed this last week. This is the Wyze Cam Outdoor. The kids playing on the playset. So it detected those as people. And this is why I think, again, this video doorbell starts to really kick butt compared to the others, is because it has that Cam Plus capability. So you're not getting false alerts in the middle of the night when it's windy. So you can trust when it says, hey, there's somebody at the front porch, that there's somebody at the front porch. I love it because it alerts my phone before somebody even presses the doorbell. It says, hey, somebody's already here. So that's really cool. And Bodie, he just talks about the new doorbell. Now, there is a Doorbell Pro. I'm going to show you guys that here. Now, this is not available on Amazon, so, you know, when it becomes available on Amazon, I'll tell you more about it. But this is also the Wyze version. This has the passive infrared as well as battery backup and a bunch of other things. The current doorbell that we're talking about is not battery backed up. So if the power goes out, the doorbell does go out. There's some new ones coming. But for the price, this thing is just dynamite. I really, really do like it. A lot of people, the number one question I got on my video that I made for this, the review video, was, can I use my existing chime? The short answer is no. Unfortunately, you can't use your existing chime with this. There's a lot of electronics involved in making a doorbell that works with the chime. You've got to do some battery backups and some capacitors and stuff, a relay to set the chime off. And there's a lot more complexity that goes on in there. And I wouldn't necessarily like that, you know, in this small size. I've taken this thing apart, and the circuitry in it is amazing that they got it in there, the power supplies and stuff. So it doesn't do that. Tyler says, looks about as clear as Ring, field of vision, not as field of view, not as quite as good. And that's true. That's one of the things I picked on, was that the field of view horizontally is narrower. But if you've got an alcove type entryway, or you've got some stairs and some railings, this is a perfect doorbell for that. You might want to wait for the Pro doorbell if you're going to go, you know, if you need to have that wide field of view, because they went to 150 by 150. So they give you the best of both directions now in field of view coming up. Let's double check here with all those apps. Wyze seems to have the greatest ecosystem around. It absolutely is, in my opinion. Ooh, how sensitive is the locking mechanism, Marco? That was a great question. So the locking mechanism is pretty sensitive. It's very powerful, so it can close, or coming back to the door lock here, it can close pretty hard. If you're having a situation like that, I would recommend seeing if you can relocate that deadbolt closer so that the door latches, and where you have that plate, you can, you know, chisel out a little bit more room, because usually it's rubbing on one side or another. Another trick when you're doing that, put some lipstick on the end of that, close it, run it a couple times, pull it open, and look where the lipstick is. That's where you have to to grind down or clearance. So great question on that, Marco. Awesome. How much accurate is a person detection in the ring? Very accurate. They've been working on this AI, and if you look into that, I'm on some of the beta apps right now. They've got the person detection with face detection coming up here, so it's going to start to categorize people, so that you can say, hey, when somebody I know comes up, unlock the door. That could be a future feature that can be offered now. So that's a really cool thing. It is water resistant. The insulation, I was going through that. Simple 2-wire on the outside. On the inside, it's a simple jumper that you put over the terminals, and the app walks you through step by step exactly what to do, and you can just tell it what type of install you have. You're going to find your doorbell transformer somewhere, and it'll walk you through all those steps, and you can be up and running in 10 minutes or less usually. And the chime unit, I don't have my chime unit because it's upstairs, but you can see it down there. Very loud. When they hit that, you're going to hear it. But what's cool about it, you can also add additional chimes to the unit. So if you want to have one in your workshop, you want to have one upstairs, you can do that. You can add additional chimes. So looking forward to the door lock. Hector, he's talking about that and hopes that the Pro Doorbell will come soon. Thank you so much for watching, Hector, and thank you everybody that stuck around here. We're just about to get to the good stuff in the home monitoring, but I'm covering just a couple quick things about the doorbell. Again, people asking about keeping the analog chime. We're a digital society now. The analog chimes, they sounded kind of neat. The chime has multiple tones, and they keep adding more and more cool stuff to it. So I'm sure they're going to add more stuff as this ecosystem grows. So I'm not really against that. The other cool thing about this, you can buy a plug-in wall transformer that's 24 volts AC. That's the ones. You'll see them. They have some for Ring and others. And that'll work with this thing. So you could put a second doorbell on your back door where one may not have existed. Again, don't have to do any of the wiring inside your home if you have the outside wiring. So there's a lot of really cool use cases with this. And, working on it with the Cam Plus and the person detection, I went back to it. Out of all of the ones I showed you guys out of the box, this is the one that went back and is on my front door until the Pro comes out. So when the Pro's here, I'm going to be going and putting one of those Pros in here. If you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat here. Super easy install. Yeah, glad person detection is back. Thank you, George, for helping out on the chat there. I'm going to show you guys another cool thing, and I don't know if it's going to play through, but we're going to find out. I'm going to go back to my doorbell because there was a feature that I didn't even know existed. I was testing this out the other day. So I'm going to go back out. I'm going to go into my Wyze app, and I'll pull you guys up here in a second. There's the live. And bringing this up so you guys can see it. Now, you'll have to tell me if you hear this, but they have these quick responses that you can hit. So I'm going to hit quick responses, and I'm going to hit this, and I'm going to be quiet. I don't know if that went through. It might have been delayed a little bit. Oh, I don't know if it's coming through there, but you can actually press these buttons, and they're different. It's a different voice. It just says, hey, leave the package by the door. Can I help you? I'll be there shortly. So if you're somebody that worries about privacy, worries about somebody hearing some background noise, because you can answer this anywhere on earth. You can answer your doorbell when it's ringing. If you're worried about anything like that, you can actually do this and hit these quick voice responses. This is something that they added to the app as well. So I just wanted to show you that. Here's the album here. Oh, I'm going to not worry about that right now. No thanks. We'll do that later. But I was going to say, we can go back to the album of pictures that I've taken with this thing. It does have a very unique timeline view. Like you can see down here, you've got the different doorbell motion. I had a problem with it when I was working on it this morning here. So again, those are the different kinds of timeline events. And it also works with your phone. You can set it up to notify. So if I go in here and I want to change my notifications, let's go through here. We talked about Cam Plus, right? Cam Plus is definitely going to cut down on those excessive notifications, and the doorbells come with Cam Plus, so you're going to get that initial one. Sorry, Van, it didn't play. I'll come up with a better way to do it. I'm using an overpriced iPhone cord here to do this, but maybe I need to switch to Android and see if it'll work. But the way these notifications work is with the AI events, you can say, just show me the AI or just show me everything. So if you say just the AI events, that's going to cut down on those spurious notifications as well. You can also set the events recording here. So you can say, okay, only record if you see package detection. I'm going to turn that on. That's why it wasn't working. I was wondering about that. So here's the different types of detection modes that you have. Like I said, pet detection. This thing went off on my other doorbell. I just switched these out for one with a better picture. But this thing went off the other day and it said pet on my front porch. I'm like, no way. Open the door and there's like a German Shepherd from down the street that had wandered on our property. So it's a really kind of a cool feature, a lot of fun. I really do like this product. Again, it's available on Amazon right now. You can purchase this and it's got the fast shipping. Amazon's got the guarantee here. So if it's not exactly everything I'm telling you about, send it back. They'll refund all your money. So really, really happy with this doorbell product. We're about to get into the really, really cool stuff. So this is the area that I really like. We're going to start talking about the Wyze Home Monitoring System. Now, when I saw this come out, I thought, oh my goodness, they're getting into that home security space. But like I said, it is so much more than that. Let me pull this up for you real quick. Again, all the products I'm talking about, if you're on YouTube, and there's quite a few of you there, you can jump over to Amazon and you can see them. I'm touching them on below. So we're simulcasting on Amazon. The way you get there, just remember, you can go to amazon.com/shop/thenetguy, or if you're on YouTube or Facebook, you can look for the Amazon link in the description there. Hit that. It's going to take you over to Amazon. Then you can chat with me on there, and you can see the products live as I'm talking about them here. Let me come back to this. We're going to talk about the giveaway, by the way, very shortly. Right after I get through this section, I'm going to talk about the giveaway. So this is a security system, but it's so much more than that. It is a professionally monitored security system, but it is a monitoring system for your whole home. Now, when you think about that, the original Cam Plus, the original Cam, I've got my Wyze cams here. I've had them in my studio forever. You've seen them. These cameras were groundbreaking. They were around $20, and they opened up the ability to see what was going on in your home when you were at work, when you were traveling, when you were away. And, you know, Wyze, now when I went the other day and I hit plus on the app and I looked at the 40 plus different products that they're creating, they're not just a camera company. There's a lot of companies, Blink, that were just a camera company. They're not a smoke detector company like Nest was, and now they're just doing thermostats and some other stuff, and then they've added some other ecosystem stuff. They are a complete ecosystem. I showed you all of those apps earlier that it takes to run my house. I'm so happy every time Wyze announces a new product, because I know that's one less app that I have to have on my phone and manage. This one's actually full. I could feel the weight in that box, because there's a lot of components in the home monitoring system that you get. So if you purchase the one that's on the carousel right now for $99.98, you're getting this monitoring bundle. It's going to come with several pieces. One of them is the Sense Hub in there, and I'm going to turn it around so you can see that. That's this little guy over here. So the Sense Hub is your gateway essentially to this. Now, if you had other home security systems, ADT, others, they're drilling holes, running cables, very thin ones, to your windows, to your doors, or if they're a wireless system as well, you're putting contact sensors in different places. All of those things add up. This comes with that, and you can add a bunch more, but this is a completely wireless system, and it is battery powered. Now, they're just showing you on the back side. That's the keypad. So that's one way to interface with your system. I'll talk about that here in a second. So the Wyze Home Monitoring Bundle comes with the things to get you started. Now, what's neat about this bundle is they've included a couple of door and window sensors just to get you started. You're going to want more. And they've included their motion sensor. So that's this guy right here. So the motion sensor is like a traditional infrared motion sensor. It's going to let you know if there's heat basically going through the room, if it's a person. Very small things that generally doesn't trigger on, so you don't have to worry about Fluffy setting it off usually. But their entire system here is just the start, the tip of that iceberg of the entire system. So, I started using this, and I'll tell you, I had anxiety that I was going to get the cops called on me, because this is a truly monitored system. When we've done this before with Wyze, we've put a lot of products together. We've tried to make our own security systems with their different products. Their original Wyze Sense was a great opportunity to talk about that. We didn't have all the pieces. Now, they've partnered with a company called Noonlight, and with that partnership has given them the ability to have professional 24/7 monitoring on the product. They did a great demo of this the other day for Wyze Week, if you guys were watching. They actually set it off, and Noonlight was on like that. They will instantly call you to try to verify if there's a problem, if there's a medical emergency, if you need police, fire, whatever, and they will get help to you. Now, the Wyze ecosystem is getting bigger than that. You'll see over here it says climate sensors and leak sensors. Well, do I want the police showing up if I have a leak? No. But again, this is the difference between Wyze and many, many other companies that are just security. Simply Safe and others are branching out. I just went and took a look at Ring, and they're kind of doing some things, but nobody's got the entire ecosystem covered. And that was the really cool thing that sold me on this and why I want to use this system. Another cool thing about these, and I'll just show you because I took it apart the other day. Got to remember which end is up. All of them use simple AAA batteries. So user replaceable AAA batteries. This Motion one has 2. If we look here, see if I can do this right. This one, the door contact sensor is kind of cool, but you've got to be really careful on how you get the back off. And I might not be able to get that off here live on this show, because I'm going to need a tool to pop that off. There we go. Got it. Well, and it's brand new, so I still have the tag, so I can't show you how I take the tag off. But same thing. This one is a door contact sensor. It's got a single. So it's got a single AAA battery in there. And again, you can replace the battery yourself and put it back on. So, once a year or more, you may be in line for a set of batteries. What you're going to save on this compared to the other costs in a monitoring system are huge, 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 huge. Okay, so I just put that back together properly because I want to demo this for you. I want to demo how quickly you can use and expand your system here. So we've got the Wyze contact sensor. Now it's a magnetic contact sensor, so when I open a door or window, see that little flash? It's telling me that that's coming into and out of view. So this little magnet here, I'm going to show you what that looks like in my installation in my house. So that's a really simple contact sensor. It's right up there. It's in the very corner of my door, and my door jambs are not great. My molding is not perfect, and so there's a little bit of an offset or a gap. If it's up to 20 millimeters, you want it within 20 millimeters, it's still going to be reliable, which is great. So I've got that there. When the door opens and closes, I get an alert. Depending on how you set it up, you can have it do different things based on those alerts. Let me just put this stuff back together here. Okay. So you can have it in 3 different modes. There's the disarmed mode, there's the home mode, and then there's the away mode. In the arm mode, sorry. So if you're going to be disarmed, you're not going to do any sort of alerting. There's not going to be any sort of false alarms. You can see when your contact sensors open and close, and you can still get an audible ding. If you've ever been to people's houses that have security systems, it's kind of nice to know somebody's coming in or out. If you've got kids like me, it's kind of nice to know when somebody's coming in or out. So it opens and closes like that. If you set it to home mode, which I'm going to call night, because that's my best use case for it, you can actually configure the application to use certain sensors around the house to basically arm your house. So this is 10 o'clock, midnight, whenever you go to bed, if the door is not supposed to come open, it's going to be armed. And so if that opens up, it can set off an alert. It can go through all the process there. If you guys are going away, and again, maybe you went away and you forgot to arm the system. So if that's the case, you can actually arm it remotely from your phone, which is great. Maybe your kid's going to leave and they didn't hit the button before they left, just like that other story I was telling you about. Let me do an unbox here. Sorry, because this is going to be like a backwards unboxing. I'm going to have to do this so that you can see it here. Put myself in the corner somewhat. So you've got 2 of the very large protected by Wyze stickers. Now what's cool about them? Double-sided. So they're sticky on one side, but they're going to be showing in both directions. So you don't have to worry about putting them on one way. You've got your manual. This thing is dead simple to set up. And just like everything else in the Wyze ecosystem, The app walks you through every single step. I had to set it up a few times in the beginning. We were getting it just right, getting my configuration going. It comes with this Wyze Sense hub. That's one of the first things you're going to want to set up. It's going to have a network connection, so it's got a regular Ethernet connection. I recommend doing this the first time by your router. So plug this thing in, and later it looks pretty stylish. It's just that it matches my shirt. This thing can go anywhere. This uses proprietary 900 megahertz communication technology between all the devices, so you don't have to worry about Wi-Fi connecting all your contact switches, and they can go anywhere. Try to centrally locate this in your house where you're both going to hear it and it's going to be able to communicate with the devices, but generally I have not had a range problem at all on this. And really simple 2-wire hookup. Now, I'd say I did see something about a firmware update that lets it run completely Wi-Fi. I run mine upstairs on Wi-Fi only right now, but you can plug it into the Ethernet cable here. There's an Ethernet cable included and a power supply for this. It's also battery backed up. Like we said, this is a battery powered, completely wireless system. It does keep the main unit plugged in and charged, but if the power goes out for a small amount, it's going to cover that. It's not going to lose any connection. Inside, there's a few more cool things. This is your keypad. Really, really simple, easy to use. Disarmed, home, and away. There. So that's a really simple deal. It's got a couple ways of mounting. This one, it is adhesive mount or a screw mount. I went with the screw mount on mine. I wanted it firm. I've got kids that'll beat things up. If you do the adhesive mount, you can do that too. There's a little warning that it might peel paint. So you could put this on just adhesive if you're worried about holes. Just be real careful not to push too hard because this thing's got some pretty strong adhesive. Other cool things I want to tell you about the keypad. Panic button. Now, in my 40s, but if there were ever a health emergency or something, my little kids could figure out how to push that button. I can train them how to hit a panic button. If they're home alone, we've got some younger teens that are watching the other kids when we go out sometimes. If they're home alone, they can hit that panic button. So that's something we're going to train them on. I haven't got them yet, but they can do that. So really simple, easy way to arm or disarm the system. You come home, you put this in a centrally located place. I'll show you where I got mine. This is my kitchen, which we're going to talk more about soon. And that little keypad right there is my keypad. So I put it where my old thermostat was. I used to have a thermostat in that little corner. And so that's where I mounted my keypad. And so I can come in and I can hit disarm and arm to get the system working or not. That is one thing I wanted to show you. Why do we need a system? Look what I came home to the other day. That's our secure mailbox out front. And somebody had taken a crowbar and just popped it open and stole all of our mail. And you look down the street and it's just a row of open mailboxes. So hopefully, Wyze, if you're watching, let's talk about a secure mailbox that doesn't get overridden by a screwdriver. But I digress. So there's crime that's happening out there. I'm not going to try to scare you guys. I'm not a big, naysayer when it comes to crime, but I did pull some statistics up because I think that this is important. And it should be important to you. Based on FBI stats, and this is 2019 stats, over 1 million burglaries committed each year. And, if we look at that by seconds, it's every 25 seconds a home is broken into. The average loss that you're looking at from a home break-in, $2,600. So when Wyze went into the security space, that would be one thing. When they went into the security space with a monitored solution, that was a completely other one. Now, interesting stats, and again, this is not necessarily just for Wyze, but burglars are drawn to homes that do not have home security systems. Homes that don't have a security system are 300% more likely to be burglarized. So this system alone is not going to drop it immediately 300%, but that's an average. So that's an average. Putting these stickers alone will be very helpful, but doing the rest of the stuff we're going to talk about is going to be even better. And the $2,600 average loss, that's not including some of the stuff I'm going to tell you some stats about some of these other features that it has that can save. Really, really sadly, 27% of the time, somebody's home when the burglary occurs. Now, I've been home a lot because of COVID, right? I didn't luckily get it, but I've been home a lot. And that's where this home button comes in. I'm like, well, don't you just need armed or disarmed? But no, home, especially when you have an exploratory kid like mine, his name's Maverick, is a way that you can protect the perimeter of your home. So if Maverick opens the front door, and he's done that a couple times, if he figures out a way to open the front door in the middle of the night and he starts to walk out, we're going to get a call. We're going to get all those things happening to help us. It also works with the Wyze cameras. So the Wyze cameras with the Cam Plus, with the motion detection, with all those capabilities, can work with this. Let me pull that up in the app. I just want to show you here. You can set different kinds of alerts. Now, I'm one of those guys that's a kind of a hard sleeper, but you know, my phone goes off all the time for IT issues. And with this capability that we have with the Cam Plus, you can actually add those cameras to your rules. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to open up my monitoring. I'm going to show you this big alarm message that's showing up on my screen. Would like to send you critical alerts now. So critical alerts always play even when your phone is muted or do not disturb. Now, this is what I was saying about those critical alerts and the ability with those cameras. So now cameras right now in the home mode, from my understanding, will not, a camera event alone will not cause an emergency response, which is good, but it can send your phone a critical alert. So even if my phone's on silent, because I'm in IT and I get a lot of pages and stuff, if my phone is on silent, it can still send me a critical alert if it sees somebody in my backyard. I would want that. If there's somebody walking through my backyard and I'm home and they haven't triggered a sensor, I still want to be able to do that. So these are a couple things that you can see in there. So you can change the setting. Now this is under security cameras. Now, I probably shouldn't be telling you all this about my security system now that I think about it, but the studio camera has Cam Plus on it. If you guys want to see, I can show you where the studio camera is. It's right up there. If somebody comes into my studio and it's after hours and we've all gone to bed, I'm not just doing motion detection because I just don't want, you know, if I've got my 3D printer in here printing away, I don't want alerts going that. But if somebody's in my office, if they break through a window and they're in my office, if it sees a person, or if my camera hears the CO2 smoke detector going off, it's going to do a critical alert to my phone. So regardless of mute, all that, it goes through that. So that's really, really cool. So it does have that capability. And then you can say what level of alert do you want on camera alerts. You can also add a bunch of cameras. So now the kids' camera, they're going to be up and moving around a lot. So if you're in this situation, in this mode, I would say you're going to want to pick different cameras. The backyard has a camera out there. I can easily add it just like that. So I've updated it. Then I can go into the backyard and say, well, motion, if the swing set is swinging, I don't want that to set it off. But if I do see a person, then I want to do that. So again, very, very useful. You saw this thing about a monitoring certificate. So we talked about the cost of an average break-in and all those. Let me get back here. I want to show you what that certificate looks like because I just printed one for myself. My homeowner's insurance has been going up, not due to claims, I don't think, but my homeowner's insurance has been going up just like everybody else, and this is a way that you can fight back. So I'm going to show that here real quick. This is the certificate that I printed out today, and I have a burglar trespass sensor. Now, smoke and fire is interesting because I think somebody asked on the Facebook group, is Wyze going into these directions? I'm like, I see an empty checkbox. I'm guessing they are. Now, water leak isn't checked, and that's only because I don't have my leak sensors yet. I'm working on that. But that's come up. I'm going to talk about add-on sensors here in a second. So with this monitored security system certificate, I can go to my insurance company and ask if they have a discount program. And some of these discounts can be between 10 and 15%. Especially, I'm sure, if you get more of these things here, you know, more of these covered losses. So this system has an awesome way to do that. And like I said, it's more than just security. We've just been talking about the basics of security here. It's a self-install kit that you really don't have to drill or screw anything unless you want to. All of these little sensors, super easy. I'm going to add one of those real quick because I want to show you how easy that is. So we're going to go back to the app here. I'm going to go to home and I'm going to hit plus. Again, we're talking Wyze app ecosystem. Add a device, sensor. I want to add a V2 sensor. Now, I can't picture in a picture this thing, so trust me here. I'm working on this guy. So this is my door or window contact sensor. I'm going to pick my hub that I have. It told me to remove the little blue plastic battery tab, which I did. And then we're going to hit next. Now there's a little reset button on the side. It says press and hold that until the light is flashing, which I did. Now, I'm not set up to do this demo. I'm just doing this live. It is in my upstairs. Look at that. Wyze Entry Sensor V2 was just added. So that's how easy it was to add an additional window. So if you're adding windows, you're running around. I'm going to pull up on the live stream. I'm going to pull up so you guys can see this. I think I put the additional contact sensors in here. Hey, D, thank you so much for the follow. That's awesome, man. I told everybody that follows in this that I'm going to be shouting them out. So thank you so much for the follow. You're going to see next time I go live. So we just added a new contact sensor. Now it's asking for a name. Do I dare let you guys name this thing? So we'll see. If anybody's got a great idea for a name, you can shout it out here. But I'm going to try Studio Door. So I can put this anywhere. Now, to tell you about the range of these things, this is my studio. My hub is in my kitchen, probably 70 feet away, 60 feet away, through like 4 walls. So that's that 900 megahertz technology that we're talking about with these. So I've gone ahead and add this. I'm not going to share the device, but this is where you can share out your individual sensors or devices. And you can place your sensor like it says here. This stuff is so easy. It's the Wyze ecosystem. And now it's closed. So you guys are seeing this real time, right? We've got the close, got the open. Studio door open, close, open. It's changing status and it's alerting my phone every single time. It's that easy. And then we can add that, and you see the color changing here and the app notifications that I get. So if we go into the home monitoring settings, we can go into all of the different settings on this. We can go to the hub settings. You can see all of the various features that it has. Entry, exit delays, pins, safe words, all of this stuff. So this one can be added. Let me go double check if I have to add that one individually. There we go. Configure. Notifications. There we go. Okay. Whew. This is kind of cool. So every time the door opens or closes, you can do that. But if I've accidentally left my studio open for how long? Let's say 2 hours, because that's about the longest I'd ever want. It's going to notify me that I left it open. And if it's left closed for too long, maybe you've got a room that needs heat, you can set that up as well. So we can add this to obviously the Wyze ecosystem. That is one way to get alerts. Let's go back over to monitoring. And so we've got that. This is the monitoring events, obviously armed, disarmed, that kind of stuff. I'm just looking here. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot them out in the Amazon chat. I just definitely want to hear any of the questions you have. Have you had a break-in? I don't want to, be a downer here, but if you had a break-in, what did it cost you? The system that we have here, the Wyze system, I gotta be real careful I don't tap it, but the monitoring system is $99.98. I believe that comes with 6 months of coverage on Amazon. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. That I believe is the coverage that you get when you purchase it from Amazon. You can get the additional contact sensors, the additional security. And I'll tell you the next area that I kind of want to go into is why this is not just a security system. Just for comparison, by the way, I hope nobody from ADT is watching, because man, I'm going to cry. When I moved into my house, every time you buy a house, you go on these lists. ADT was just crazy expensive. Looking through here to get just similar to what Wyze has, it says $599 to $899 upfront plus $45 a month, or you can wrap that fee in for like 20 years and you can pay $55.97. I didn't plan to put this on the show, but those are the prices I printed right off of their website. So if you want their smart home package with some light bulbs and some stuff, you're looking at $1,200.65 a month. The monitored system from Wyze is $5 a month. That's what the residual cost is on this system. Or a Mystic. This video is sponsored by Wyze. Well, not technically. I don't work for Wyze. I'm the net guy, not a Wyze employee. They have provided me the monitoring system to test. And they did provide, I'm trying to think, they didn't provide much else on the show. It was the monitoring system. They did provide me one extra home monitoring system to give away. We're going to talk about the giveaway right after this, and I'll do that. But no, I'm not a Wyze employee. I just really love the cool stuff, and I got some friends over there now that I've made. So let's talk about the next item here, which expands this system. And these are the sensors. They're not yet available on Amazon. So again, apologize that you can't get them yet, but they're getting pushed out as quickly as we can. There's a leak sensor and a climate sensor. And I can't tell you how many times I wanted to know how hot is it in my kid's room, right? And that's where this is way more than security. It starts to become the whole home. You're looking at not just the security aspect of it, but you're looking at the things that are more common. Like, let's say a water leak that happened in my kitchen. This was right at the beginning of COVID. And I go into my kitchen, I step at the sink, and everybody's got the Pergo vinyl floor, right? Tell me if you've got a Pergo or vinyl floor. This is going to be like 90% of the people here are going to talk about that. And I'm stepping on the floor, and it was like the fountain of youth. There was water coming up between the pieces of Pergo in my floor. And I'm like, what is going on here? Did the kids leave the water running? And it was just, but every time I stepped, there was more water coming. Now, I'm going to prep you for this. It's not pretty, but I did have a water leak. The line to my refrigerator was leaking, but it wasn't like a deluge. It wasn't like it flooded out like the dishwasher, like you'd know. It was leaking slowly under my cabinet, like below right where my cabinet was. If I had a leak sensor, I could have avoided this. That was a full kitchen gut job that started with a very simple pinhole water leak. And, this was my beginning of COVID. Trying to get somebody during COVID that would wear a mask and come into the house. We had to go away for days. I've got a whole album I could show you on this. But this was what happened. This was a disaster starting with a water leak. Now, I can tell you the insurance company pegged it out at about $17,000 for just the cabinets and the floor alone. And it ended up costing me 3 or 4 times that because we ended up doing the first floor. So that beautiful kitchen that you see, my wife loves it. Maybe she doesn't want me to sell you guys on these leak sensors because if we'd had this, we would have known right away that something was leaking. And the leak and contact sensors that, are a few bucks would have saved at least $16,000, possibly more in cost. Now, we're lucky we had insurance, but this could make your insurance rates go up. So I only say that just to say that this leak and leak and climate sensor is great. The other thing I mentioned is my kids. I'm constantly worried that, if you put a small heater, and never again put small heaters in rooms, but sometimes we live in cold areas, something, we need to have an additional, bit of security there. Maybe the heater's not working, or maybe it is. Another thing that happened recently is we bought half a cow. We're kind of preppers. My wife is more prepper than I am. Hopefully she's not listening, or I could be in trouble. But we have a freezer now that is floor to ceiling that's a half a cow. And if that freezer were to break, we wouldn't know on the inside temperature. We wouldn't know that it was broken. You may not hear it rattling, but you really don't know unless you go down there and open the door if the freezer's not working. With these climate sensors, you can put a climate sensor in each fridge and freezer. You'll know if your freezer breaks. So you're going to get advanced warning. So when I talk about the Wyze ecosystem and I talk about how they're more than just a camera company, they're more than just a security company. I talked to them and I said, hey, are you guys going into security? Is security your new thing? They're like, no, we are a whole home system. They've got lifestyle products. They've got all that. So this thing that I'm telling you about now, the add-on sensors, you can buy more. I've got them listed here, is the door and window contact sensors, but you can absolutely buy more to expand out your system. Totally. Let me clean up just a little bit. If you've got questions about this system and how to set it up and how to use it, let me know, and I'll walk through that with you here. This can be wireless. This is your Sense Hub. Again, it plugs in and it takes power, but it does have a battery backup inside of it. So if it loses power, it'll continue to run. Once you got the initial setup done, at least, it can be wireless, so this can, again, go anywhere. This is what plays the chime when anybody comes in and out. I really wish I had my hub down here, because then I could play the chime for you. You guys would hear it. It's really cool. But no, so I didn't have that set up. But I'm going to go into a couple more products here. I wanted to show you that. But before I do, I'm going to tell you guys about the giveaway. So Wyze, this is the only sponsorship that they did for me, is they did say that I could give away one of these systems. Give me 1 second to pull that up for you. And these are the details on the giveaway. You are going to be getting 1 year of professional home monitoring of your new Wyze bundle. So this includes the Wyze Monitoring Bundle Kit. You're going to get the hub, you're going to get the 2 sensors, same one that's being sold at Amazon. The only thing you have to do, and again, there's some rules that I have to follow here, is I'd like you to follow me. Follow me, the Net Guy, here on Amazon. We'll see you guys entering as you go here right now. Hit the follow button up there, down there, and then send that email here to giveaway@thenetguy.com. So send me an email. And this is the only way I can have you enter, sadly. But it's also going to give me a two-way communication. So if I need to tell you that you won, I'm making sure that I get you the right one. And use the subject of Wyze Security, so I know that it's for this Wyze security system. And then tell me in the subject, or sorry, in the body, what's your favorite Wyze product? That's what I'd really like to know. Tell me why you like this product. Now, what's cool about it is I can tell you there's a few dozen of you between the different services right now. If all of you entered, there's better than a 1 in 100 chance that you're going to get this. So for what the value that you're getting here, this would be a really cool entry. I can't wait to start seeing my phone blow up here as people are entering. But just shoot me an email, 1 email per person, please. Now, if all of your kids want to email too, that's fine. But 1 per person. I don't want to get like 10,000 emails tomorrow morning because you think you're going to get a better chance. And I'm a nerd, so I have ways to track that and stop that. But Tyler's in. Tyler's got it. He's got the follow. So, but if you guys do that, I'm going to be doing this drawing on December 1st. So that's a Wednesday. It's probably a live stream day. I'm going to do this drawing for the security system from those entries. And you're going to get that security system sent out to you free of charge. Now, there's official contest rules that are going to be posted on my website. This contest, this giveaway, follows the YouTube community guidelines. I have to point that out. It's void where prohibited. You don't need to be present to win, and there's absolutely zero purchase necessary. You just have to watch this show for as long as you have, which I automatically thank you guys for. I'm going to look real quick here to see if there's any questions that I missed. Let's see, George here. Doorbell wiring. I like that. Awesome. Yeah, solar power. That's a really good question. The Wyze Pro doorbell, when it comes to powering that stuff, the Pro doorbell is very power efficient, between 3 and 6 months battery life on the built-in batteries. And then you just recharge it and it's good to go again. Is the home monitoring optional? I believe if you want the alerting, it's not. If you want Noonlight to monitor it, it's not optional. I would ask anybody in the chat if we have any Wyze folks that might know the answer, or somebody. That's a great one. I wouldn't consider, $5 a month. I want that peace of mind that if somebody hits the panic button, that it's going to call somebody. But that's up to you. That's a great question. So I'm going to move on to one product here. If you do have a question about the security system, I am not the person to stop you here. Feel free to bring it up, and I'm going to do my best to go back and I'll answer it. John, you are doing the first step. You, John Brainer, started following. Thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to it. I'll bring that giveaway information up one more time, maybe 2 more times before the end of the show, so we're going to be able to do that. I'm going to switch gears a little bit, and we're going to clean up with a favorite tool of mine. Now, this I do have a YouTube video on, and it's really funny, and it was one of the first videos that features my wife, which is cool. This product I'm going to show you now. This is the Wyze Vacuum, and I apologize, there was like dust coming out of it earlier. It's used. It does get used in this house. And, my wife loves this thing. It has a really strong motor. I'm not going to turn it on yet because I've got really good noise canceling, and I don't want to, try to override that. But I want to show you a couple things about it. See that port on the back? That is a USB Type-C. And that connector is the one that you can use and you don't get it wrong. That's the newest style connector, so that's the charger. 2 amp charger that comes with it. And then in the handle, there's actually 3 of the 18650 or 16850. I get it wrong all the time. There's 3 batteries in it, 3 large ones. They're not user replaceable, but that's where all the power comes from. The rest of this thing, and again, I'm going to open it up over here just because if there is any dirt in it, maybe somebody used it today between when I grabbed it, there we go, and now. I don't want that to go. It has a stainless steel mesh filter. That's what you can see right there. That USB-C charging, the reason I bring that up, that's the same thing that your newest Android phones use, the iPad mini, and hopefully soon the real iPad does. But this is the filters. So you have a stainless steel filter here, but inside of it, you have your HEPA filter. Now that one's a little bit dirty, but you can replace both of those, but you can actually wash this. So we take it out, we wash both of them, to be honest. So you can occasionally clean it up. Super easy to disassemble. You saw how that works. So I'm going to push this in, and I'm going to latch it. There we go, so it's locked. I'm going to lock this part of it. Let's see if I get this right. Okay. So there's a key index here. I want to show you. So turn and lock. So you get the Wyze logo there. Now, if you're just going to dump it real quick, you don't have to do all the filtration cleaning. Push that button, it opens up. And there's this little trap door here. This is, by the way, not water resistant. Any residual water is the fact that I was cleaning it here. So getting it ready. But that's how you open it, and you can just dump it. Now, if you need to do a full clean, you open it just like I did, and you can separate everything. You can do that stainless steel through. Now, I'm going to turn it on here. We'll see. I can look at the meters and see. I think you might be that's the first mode. So that's one mode. That's the second. Now I apologize because that probably didn't sound good. The noise cancellation, I don't have a hot button for that, but the air blows out the bottom of this thing. That's the vent, and air is a lot of air that comes out of this thing. Best use cases I can see for this would be for the car. We keep it under the kitchen sink right now, but when we go RVing, this comes in the RV with us. I don't know about your kids or mine, but I go through after them in the RV when we're traveling, and we get all of the popcorn and stuff. It's really hard when you're in an RV. So small spaces, tight spaces. I didn't bring all the accessories here, but let me pull up the Amazon page for this. Again, I just want to remind you guys, if you follow me on Amazon, not only do you get notified every time I go live, this is the way you find this. So you go to the shop Amazon net guy. Let's see. So if you go to that URL at the top, amazon.com/shop/the net guy, then you're going to see this right here. And so this is going to show you everything that's in the show right now. It's kind of like a mirror there. I'm seeing myself. So these are all the cool accessory attachments and the wands and stuff that it comes with. The price is $59.99 right now. Again, not water resistant, so it's definitely going to be only for those cleanup jobs that are not a wet cleanup job. So, you know, it's going to do for your dust and your other stuff like that. It does quote a 30-minute runtime. I'll be honest, that's pretty aggressive. You know, I'm seeing more like 20 minutes on mine full charge, which is amazing. If you go on super high mode, you're less than 10. But this thing sucks like 3 bowling balls up, they showed in their example. So that was pretty cool. Because of the USB-C charging, you can charge it in your car or in your motorhome and wherever you're going if you have a USB charger, or use the one that comes with it. So that was a really cool thing. I'm trying to think. I've shown you guys how to dump it as well. So we're doing cool. Tyler, I'm going to bring up the vacuum coming up next here. So I just want to do that. And John's happy that I got his name right. Oh, there's who knows? I mean, I got lucky on that one. But so the big vacuum's coming up next here. So that's the Wyze Handheld Vacuum. It's a pretty cool product. It's one of the only products that you won't find in the Wyze app, which is kind of funny, actually, because a lot of these are. We're going to go on to the next product here, and I'm tapping it on the carousel, and that is my Wyze Robot Vacuum. Now, when this thing came out, it made quite a splash. You know, it is a robot vacuum in all of the traditional senses. Sorry if that's really noisy. I didn't think about that. Lifting up the front. I have a full video on this one as well. Let's see if it's easier to see on this. Let's put this over here. So this is the device. And when you open it up, there's the dust collection bin. But the thing you'll notice before it's open is this little protrusion up top. And that's the laser system. So that's a LiDAR. If you've ever seen some of the self-driving cars, this has got that LiDAR system in the top. And when Wyze busted into this market, I was like, whoa. One, I'm going to get a robot vacuum now because I hadn't bought one yet and committed. And two, I was really excited because the technology on this thing was way higher. You can get dumb robot vacuums that bump into stuff. Now, this thing will still do that. It still bumps into things, trust me. I got some stories about that. But you see that? It's a real soft light switch there. And so if it's, mismapped an area, or you've moved furniture around, or you've done something, it's gonna bump into things occasionally, but it's gonna do that and it's gonna turn. It also has sensors that when it gets to some stairs, it's not gonna fall down the stairs and do whatever. It does have on the back, so I'm gonna show you that, these two contacts. Now, this thing will charge and monitor and do everything itself once you set it up. It's definitely a smart vacuum. This is the little charging brick that we use. The cord's really, really long, but they hide it in the bottom. It's over here so you guys can see it. So this is one of my favorite Wyze products. My wife, when she saw that they announced this, she was like, "You're getting one of those, right?" I said, "Yes." So you can see there, it backs up and it touches those contacts, and it does this through both the infrared emitter in the front and using the LiDAR to do the room mapping. The room mapping and the path mapping is where this thing really exceeds. Panic button is a silent alarm. Good answer on that question. I did not know that one that came in, by the way. Thank you, Patrick, for that. So the room mapping, I'm going to pull up my Wyze app again, just because I want to show you what that looks like. And it's one of the coolest things out there. So, all right, 1 second here. I just want to get you the right picture. So this is what it looks like when it is trying to map your area. So this is that kitchen, that newly redesigned kitchen that we have. And so it's going to use, I didn't fast forward the feature set on the screen there for you guys. There you go. So there's the Wyze Robot Vacuum. So this room mapping that it's going to do is it's going to go around everywhere and do a first pass that's a mapping pass. I thought it was cleaning the first time, honestly, and I was like, wow, this is the quietest vacuum I've ever seen. But no, the first pass is just to figure out where things are at. And it's super cool. You're going to hear it go around, and then you're going to see it draw in real time as it's going. And it's going to go around things. And look, the second pass is the cleaning pass here. And this is about a 400 square foot area, it keeps telling me whenever it cleans it. And, that's been, plenty big enough for it. It runs and does that whole area on a single charge. Now, if you've got a really big house, this thing automatically does room segmentation, and you can go through and edit it. In my case, it saw my back deck out there, as you can see. And, it went through it and went around my furniture. Now, my wife, I don't know if you have wives like this, or husbands, that like to switch your furniture around. She loves moving my furniture, but this thing can remap just like that. So we send it on a remap pass and does it. But if you look at all those squiggly lines, I'll try to make them a little bigger for you. So in its mapping, when it's going around chair legs. So this thing's small enough that it can get in and around chair legs. Super, super convenient, easy to use. My wife, she's a trooper. Again, we got 5 kids, so she has to be. So she loves this thing. And she'll constantly tell me, she's like, have you got, the whole area picked up? Because the one Achilles heel I would say it does have is, for some reason, we have kids that have little toys that are just the size of the entry, and you do have to pick up a little bit. And so when I see the proliferation of vinyl and pergo flooring, one nice thing about that is that it is, more hypoallergenic than a thick pile carpet, but you need one of these things, and this thing does exceptionally well. I'll show you a couple things about it real quick. I'm going to go back out to that second camera. You'll notice as I pick it up and down, it kind of clunks. That's because the wheels here, if you look at those, they're actually hinged. So it can go over obstacles. Now, my brush is in need of replacement, and they include a couple of these brushes. So this brush is going to get into corners and the crevices, and it's going to pull towards that center, which, by the way, also needs to be cleaned. Sorry about that. So, real simple design here. It works very well. Doesn't have to be overcomplicated. And that path planning LiDAR AI technology, that's really important, because you don't have, if you have carpet, you don't have that like runway of streaks of it going randomly until it hits all the corners. It does a very methodical path, and I've seen some really cool pictures on there. Does it map it in the app? Yes, and it does multiple floors. So when I got this thing initially, it didn't do multiple floors, and so that was actually a thing that was added recently. Wyze has been super, super awesome about customer service. Again, I was on some of the early emails and, the owners, and they said, hey, some of you guys have reported one of the things, much about houses and carpets. when it comes up to a wall, a lot of carpet has a tack strip in the wall, and either this is up or down, and it was having some issues with hitting it just right. And so Wyze, emailed us all and said, hey, we're trying to figure this out. Send us some pictures. I sent my pictures, and they offered a little plate for this to go on that when it comes back in, it syncs better. So super happy about that. The 110-minute runtime is absolutely true. It does have 3 suction levels, so I'm guessing 110 is on the lowest level. I can use medium suction on this thing on our floor, and I'm sure I could probably even do low. We had a dog recently, and she's a shedder. I don't know if you know that breed, but she shed a lot in the winter, and we'd open this thing up, and it was super easy to clean. So you open the front of this thing up, and you take out the dustbin. So again, super easy to take that. You open it up. This got me the first few times. You open it up, and that simple, you just dump it out. There's also a HEPA filter in the back side here, which it looks like I need to clean. So that's removable, replaceable if you need to clean it. Apparently this whole thing can be washed. I was just reading that here, that you can wash the main cover there, and then you can put that all back in. And then when I was talking about things getting caught, if it's the size, of, try to do this so you guys can see it. If it's the size of this entry port, it'll make it in. If it's bigger or awkward, it's going to get caught. And that's where we've had to be careful. Now, interestingly enough, I don't know if you guys picked up on this when I had this open. There's this ninja tool down here. And so this tool is kind of cool. It's built into the vacuum here. So that's the tool that you can use to cut hair. Let's go do that. I got girls. They've got long hair. You can come along here, and you can cut the hair right out of the rollers there that might be on it, and do your maintenance. Now, you're going to have to do that every couple months. Sorry, this is real live television here. So we cleaned that out. And then you can use this side of the tool as a brush to clean off all the bins and stuff. And it has a convenient area to go in here. I thought that was just like thinking ahead. I thought that was kind of a cool little bit, little feature there to do this. I want to show you a couple pictures. Border Collie, yep, you know it. They don't have a vac and mop yet. It's funny, there's other companies like Roomba, and the vac mops are really expensive. I would love to see one, and if I get one of the other ones, we can do a head-to-head someday. But let me show you a couple pictures here that are more fun than anything. Let's go over here. Let me see if I've got it here. Oh yeah. Oh, he's having fun. This is my kid Maverick. I told you about him. He's the daredevil of the operation. This is not condoned by Wyze or anybody. The other day, my other daughter, she's screaming. She's like, Mav's on the robot. He was literally standing on this thing, sitting on it and running around and having a blast. I posted this to the Facebook group, and it was funny. But this is not covered under warranty. The thing still works fantastically. Not recommended for little kids. But from a safety perspective, I should say the unit is very, very safe. It does not fall downstairs. It's not going to have any issues like that. If it does bump into something, you can be in the room while it's working. It's just going to be a light bump, and then it's going to turn and it's going to go. So all the computerization. The other thing is they're constantly improving this thing. So initially, let's go into my system here. I just want to show you the path planning and the map real fast. So initially, you could not do multiple levels. So Vacuum McVacuum is mine. It's saying it's offline because it is. But you could actually go in here and you could edit the map. You could say, hey, I want to set a no-go zone here. I don't think I can do it because I'm not online, or it's not online. But yeah, you can go to reset map there, and that reset map feature will go ahead and start it all over and replan it. But yeah, it didn't have, when we started, it didn't have multiple levels. Now, actually, I can show you the no-go zones here. So this is a little tiny planter in the corner, and it's just the right size that it can squeak under it and get itself stuck. So I learned that one, and I put that one in there. And then this is almost never a problem, but sometimes it'll bump that wall because it's not tracking it right. It's a baby gate we have across the stairs. So to avoid that, I've put a little no-go zone there. But otherwise, it's been really, really good. And this map is completely different than the one I showed you earlier, and that's because my wife loves to rearrange furniture constantly. So But that is the Wyze Vacuum. Let me double check the chat here. That is the last product on our normal showcase. How would you say it compares to a Roborock? I don't know. I have not used the Roborocks yet. I know for the price that it is right now. Let's go in here. Hey, I just got an entry on the giveaway. It just popped up. Their favorite product was the video doorbell. Congratulations, you're entered. Let me go through here. I want to do it. Now, I'm showing it on Amazon here. It's not in stock right now, so I don't have a buyer for it right now, so I can't tell you the exact price on it, sadly. But from a pricing perspective, feature to feature, this is very in line price with what you're going to pay for something like this. So I think that's good. I would love to see a refreshed version. It's been out for about a year and a half maybe. So, you know, we got it right when our remodel was complete. It was kind of a present to us for getting that big remodel done. And so, you know, I think it's due for a newer one. This is still a fantastic one if you were to get that, and still a great gift. So, fantastic. Thank you guys for watching on the YouTubes. I'm going to have to pull Mav back up because everybody's asking about that. Mav's still going. This is not live. This is what we caught him doing the other day. But I did want to thank you guys for sticking through this, for watching. If you have any questions, you know, let me know in the chat real quick while we're shutting down, and I will make sure that I address them. I want to make sure I talked about everything, so I'm going to look through my list here while you guys are putting your questions out. One thing I forgot to show you, let me pull that up real fast, is my certificate, because it showed up. I don't think I pulled that. Oh, no, I did pull that certificate up. Sorry about that. Let me show it to you again. So if you have the Wyze Home Monitoring System here, you will be able to get the certificate, show it to your insurer, and hopefully get a lower rate on this. I did skip one other photo, so I'm going to show you real quick here. And that is, when we talk about leak sensing, we just got a new water heater. So that is our new fancy high-tech hybrid heat pump water heater. It was, I think, $1,300 or $1,500 versus, you know, $300 for a dumb one. But I couldn't spring for the leak sensor. The leak sensor alone for this thing is an extra $200. Now, I know that I can get for much, much less than that. Ooh, somebody says the vac mop is coming. They know more than I do. And Grant, I'm going to tell you how to enter the giveaway. Don't leave before that happens, by the way. I'm going to make sure I remind you on that. But yeah, so the leak sensor on this is way less than that. They don't have them in stock yet on Amazon, so I can't show you that directly. But I want to add one of those to this. So this is another area in the home that I would add to the home monitoring. It's going to give me peace of mind when I leave. And yeah, their leak and shut off unit deal, it's like one unit you have to buy. You have to pay for a plumber to come in and do it. It's $200 just for the unit. So I'm way happier with this. I can call a neighbor and have him shut my water off if that leak sensor goes off. So that was exciting. Let me double check here. Grant, you wanted to know how to enter. I'm going to pull that up as well. We're going to give that giveaway details one more time. Pull that up for you. So if you want to be entered to the Home Monitoring Bundle giveaway, put this out here. Ooh, it's not going to let me do that. Let's go to Cam 2. I'll just use the Robot Vacuum as a platform there. If you want to be entered to the giveaway, you're getting the Wyze Home Monitoring Bundle. Just follow me on here. This is great. There's a bunch of you guys left. Thank you guys for sticking through it. And, you know, send me an email to giveaway@thenetguy. Included the subject Wyze Security. That was the home and security showcase. And then let me know what your favorite Wyze product is. And you're going to be entered in the drawing here on December 1st. And I would love to see you on there. I would love it for you to win that. And it's a really cool system. I'm very happy with mine. I'm going to look one more time here to make sure I did not forget anything for you guys. Oh, you know what? The number one thing that people ask about Wyze products when they're having issues is about Wi-Fi signal. So I just wanted to share with you guys, I'm a network IT guy in my real day job, and also an old antique computer enthusiast. But a mesh Wi-Fi system is so much better than a single point router in your home. If you've got smart devices all throughout your home, your Wi-Fi is starting to get congested. I've gone into some apartments, and you got to scroll the Wi-Fi list on a MacBook. It's that long. And so all of those are creating noise. a very strong, very powerful Wi-Fi system is one of the best things that you can do for your existing Wyze ecosystem. I just put on the TP-Link mesh here, the Deco Mesh Wi-Fi system. It's an S4 is the name of this one. So I don't know if I can pull up. Let me pull it up here, actually. Give me 1 second. I just have to move around a couple things. So again, if you guys want to see any of the products that I'm showing here, the easiest way to do this is to go to my Amazon Live page. So that's right here. It's shop/thenetguy. You're going to go here. This is the system right here, the S4. It is on a super special right now, $109. Now, this $149 is already lower. When these things came out, they were way more than that. So for $109, again, I could have these overnighted to me that fast. This one is a Wi-Fi, I'm going to call it 5, but that's not the technical term. It's a 2.4 gigahertz and a 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi mesh system. You don't have to do any fancy wiring in your house. You just plug one of them in. All the devices are exactly the same, so you can't screw up. You plug one into your router, you start putting them around your house. And wherever you put them, you're just making that much more coverage. So this is not a Wyze product, but I did want to show you how you can resolve almost all of your issues. Now this, again, fantastic price, barely over $100. It's the lowest price I've ever seen. So that's one of the things. Let's go back one page, and I'm going to show you the other option. Now, the only thing that one lacks is the Wi-Fi 6 support. So depending on if you have an iPhone 12 or better, I think it's the 12 Pro Max is what I've got, the 13, maybe the new MacBooks, you can use Wi-Fi AX. You'll see that. That's Wi-Fi 6. And this is my X20. You can see that I ordered it last year, right about the time we got our iPhones. This is $199, which is way less than I paid for it. I think I paid full retail for it. It's a 3-pack. They're about half the height of the S4s. The only difference is it has Wi-Fi 6. So if you're in a rural area, you've got internet that's less than 100 megabit, go with the S4. If you've got internet that's over 100 megabit, maybe 200-300 megabit, and you want to use all of that, and you have multiple Wi-Fi clients, I've seen over 100 devices, then yes, this one is it. It's got a great app to manage it. This is not a Wi-Fi product from Wyze. I really would love it if they made a Wi-Fi extender, but I just wanted to show you real quick the number one things as a good mesh Wi-Fi system to make all of these products just rock. So this has been John, the Net Guy. I'm going to do one last pass through here looking for questions. In here, Grant asked how to enter the contest. We talked about that. I'm going to pull the contest details up real fast for you guys just while we're shutting down to make sure you guys see them. I would love for one of you guys to win this system, and that's awesome. So this has been John the Net Guy. I would again remind you guys to follow if you want to be alerted next time that I'm live. Catch me soon. I've got some videos on doorbells. I showed you that box of doorbells. We're going to talk about those as soon as I get my Wyze Pro one in. I think I'm going to wait to be an even competition because that one has all the muscle and it's going to flex on these other ones, I have a feeling. So, we're going to do that one. I also have an earbud showcase that I want to do. I've got both of the Wyze earbuds. We were talking about it earlier. The Wyze Pros, these are the ones I use. Or sorry, the Wyze Buds. I've got both. These ones are the ones that tend to win. My wife likes the Pros. She's got smaller ears. She likes the Pros. So, definitely going to be doing an earbud thing there. And again, continue to check out the shop up there. If you look at the Amazon/shop/thenetguy, helps me out a little bit. It gives me a small commission on any of the products that you see here that you purchased today. And with that, that's a wrap. Thanks, everybody.